evidence. There's also plenty of fossil stuff left over
My
from all the
hatred
dead
is
whales that have
unending.
been washed up, and we found them fresh teeth from them. So we know those things do exist. And then considering how big those things are, we can pretty much measure. But since they're such a deep water type animal and they are pretty rare, yeah, not likely. The only reasons why we've seen so many of them in the olden days with the ships is probably because they were more common those days. The armor is a mixture of tungsten and a few other elements using some really advanced technology. They had forges we're talking 50 to 80 years more advanced than we are right now. And that was way back. So, yeah, they were pretty advanced. They have a spaceship, they can travel amongst the stars, they can practically do whatever they want. They had some advanced technologies. Apparently, they knew how to actually take and absorb directly and actually take the particles and actually scoop and use the raw outer stuff from the sun itself. Um, but I don't really know how. It's actually something they're actually using an entirely different method than what science knows. No, 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 not the surface. They actually could actually dive into the sun and actually go down into the sun and actually just like practically like ride into the sun's actual like mass and actually go down there and actually scoop down into the more like lower layers, not the actual like surface stuff. Oh, They made an element they can actually go up against a lot of things, but no, they don't actually use that. They actually have shields, apparently, so they can actually just go right into the sun. It'll be just fine. They can't go directly through the sun directly because that's too much. The shields would be drained so quickly from that much bombardment. I don't know where it comes from either. Scratches my head too. It's the same thing like the when of the stories of the Great Dragon War that between the Dragon Slayers and the Dragon Kingdom. All this. No, 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 no. That's like that is a really cutesy little version of them. Dragon Slayers are not that kind and pretty and no, Dragon Slayers are monsters. Um, they possess bits of the organic technology from dragons and so they have bits of stolen technology from dragons. So they were actually rocking around in genetic enhancements technology on them. So that's why they were also superhuman. So they could actually access this stuff wasn't even remotely possible for humans to have.
Greetings, friend. It seems you've
Basically,
encountered
the
a
only way we
treasure.
could
Well
compare
done, my
an
friend.
equivalent
Well
is
done,
if we
indeed.
had a power suit with a whole lot of weapon firepower. That's how powerful they are. They could
The battle begins
level
in
entire
10 seconds.
areas with one blast if they felt like it.
5,
But
4,
they couldn't really.
3,
But of
2,
course, they didn't actually have
1.
any actual like
the
plasma or
battle
any of that
begins.
kinds of crazy weaponry. No, they actually did have reflectional abilities, so they didn't actually have any actual like energy-based weaponries because that was a little too much technology that they could harness. But yes, dragons did have charged particle weapons. They could actually shoot charged particles out of their mouth. It's a special technology they incorporated into their bodies that they can actually use their entire bodies as the actual charging mechanism and charge particles and use it and fire it from their throw it from their mouth, basically.
I alone must act.
They were able to genetically modify their bodies quite a bit to do all kinds of crazy stuff too. They at will, dragons can actually transform their wings from a skin based into a hardened metal of materials that they injected into their bodies. So they have bits of ejected metal in their bodies at all times. It's basically a foreign metal in their bodies that they basically programmed it into their body to use at will as a defense mechanism.
None may challenge me.
As a basically they could just activate it and they have instant armor basically. And it also allows them to travel at high speed with their wings. So basically, they become jets in one sense of the word. I know.
Is that all?
But I mean, compared to what the heinousness of what Dragon Slayers have caused, I mean, the first group of Dragon Slayers wiped out village after village, mercilessly killing anyone and everyone.
Let's move
out. Yeah, that's why they're called. That's why they're referred to as monsters. No one really thinks of them as that, because no one remembers any of those horror stories of the Dragon Slayers and what monstrous things they've done. They were no more than giant walking weapons of destruction. Anyone who is associated with dragons, or was even dragon masters, who basically were slave owners, basically in those time periods. Except they were slave owners for dragons. So there are very few dragons who were basically be able to be controlled by humans and by people who had a special ability that can basically cause a dragon to yield to a human. They could basically, they were using dragons to use them as slaves or do other stuff. They were all murdered by Dragon Slayers. It's like they're heretics in their point of view, and they pretty much like burned them all. And they basically incinerated everyone who were dragon masters. If you ever wonder, Merlin, by the show, there was a show. It was showing what a dragon lord. It was a dragon master. Just for clarifications, to make a dragon to be yielded and also summoned to your location at will is somebody who's a dragon master. It's a little side effect from the Dragon Rider era at one point in time, but that was from way back when dragons and humans were basically good buddies, and they worked together, and they basically worked and they did all kinds of good stuff. But that was a long time ago. more peaceful times, I would say. A Dragon Lord is basically an enslaved human, blessed by the Dragon Kingdom to forever guard and protect the Dragon Kingdom. They have the powers of a Dragon Warrior, who are so powerful that they could level continents. Because of their full firepower of their blast, they could literally level continents because of that charged particle weapon.
Let's move out.
And they also have a few other weapons too, but it's one of their more main weapons. Yes, they have.
Choose a talent. Who can gather this one, I wonder?
No, Breaker Dragons are weak.
Draws close.
Dragon Masters can't. They can't. They're no. That's all they can do. They can summon them. They can mind control them, but that's all they can do.
Hardly a challenge.
Dragon Warriors are uncontrollable by Dragon Masters because Dragon Masters power only works on those who are either away from, who are disconnected from the Dragon Kingdom, or basically known as Rogue Dragons, or those who are too weak to resist. And that's really rare. Rare to be able to resist. But Dragon Warriors cannot be affected. They're way too superiorly powerful. Their strength and mind strength is immensely powerful. For humans to even control them with any kind of mind control, they'll be instantly overwhelmed because the Dragon Warriors' minds are incredibly powerful. Of course, Dragon Masters can try to control Dragon Lords, but that's not going to work on them for very long because they can resist it because of their being not actually dragon, they're actually human, so they can actually resist that power. So, but if they let their dragon side of themselves be too controlled, then, or I mean too dominant, they can actually lose control and again can be controlled by Dragon Masters. What's far right impossible, because usually at that point the Dragon Kingdom kicks in and actually will will them out of that real quick like too. Dragon Masters won't be able to control them very long. So Dragon Lords were always connected to the Dragon Kingdom at all times. So basically every single one of the dragons of the Dragon Kingdom, including the King of the Dragons, was connected. Now you have to keep in mind the Dragon King is a leader, not a dictator, none of the normal kingy things. He's equivalent to a president with actually no ending or rule.
The curse falls
At
upon
any
you,
moment in
your
time, the people of the dragons of the Dragon Kingdom can basically call for a new leader at
Choose
any
a
point in time.
talent.
The Dragon King will have to step down. Of course, there's never been another king since the last couple thousands of years. Actually, not for the last 20,000 to 30,000 years ago or something like that. But that was like way in the earlier days. And that was because the Dragon Kingdom has been around longer than Egypt. Egypt was right around the same time of it was basically when Egypt was going toward the end of Egypt's
Let the
time.
curse end. And
Is about
someone
right
is
when
my
the end of the
friend,
Dragon
that is.
Rider era stopped, basically. And that was when the Dragon Lords came into being. Because some of the Dragon Riders chose to become Dragon Lords. Now, you keep in mind, Dragon Lords are choosing the path they're choosing. They're not actually being forced into their positions like they are. Dragon Lord is basically once they choose the path they are choosing, it's done. The deal is done basically. But they must choose that path. They cannot simply be forced into it. They're bound to it as soon as they choose it. Basically for life. And life for a Dragon Lord is roughly around a couple hundred years. Dragon Lords actually live as long as they're supposed to for a normal human lifespan. It's about 900 years, give or take. Humans do live quite a long time, but that requires a high level of capability, and humans have forgotten all of their abilities to do that. Actually, human beings have never had it. Their ancestors had all that power of capability.
Quickly.
Talent?
We are a
That seems
subspecies. We're a merged species from our ancestors. We're a product of another species, basically.
Evil draws close.
10,000
I hope you
BC was the beginning of the human race. The human race existed in that time period. Now, before that,
Is that all?
there was another species who was basically the pre-human race. Supposedly there was 3. I have no way to confirm all that, but I mean that's what it supposedly is. Yeah, go ahead and review it then. Yeah, there's actually, the scientists are now discovering that recently that there was actually something there before. Even the Christians know about it, but they don't really want to bother talking about it. Yeah, because there's enough scientific evidence that points it to it. If you want my actual kind of belief to it, what I understand from what my kind of information would be is, yes, there was other species. There's practically 3. There's 3 other species, humanoid species. 2 of them were alien, and 1 of them was a native species. But that actually doesn't agree within the scientific notions.
Dragon, can I request that there be in the game room what do you call it? A Steam Games section? Or Counter-Strike Global Offensive?
Okay.
Yay! I just wanted to get that requested so tomorrow I can use it, but I have to go to bed now. It was just on the top of my mind. Good night.
User disconnected from your channel.
I will have my vengeance. I alone must act. 10,000 years.
Oh yeah. You can ask the Christians about that too. It's
Might
in
I
there in the
suggest
Bible
dodging?
and everything about the
Ravenlord
whole.
demands
There was
You have
other
lost
creatures
the
of upon the earth that existed before and such before man existed. Blah blah blah. And it actually explains that right there, and just plain old right there.
Defend our core. They will pay for that. Let's move out. I alone. Evil draws close. Quickly.
Hmm.
Good kill.
Oh,
Always
heroes.
under attack.
Do not fear. I have survived worse than this.
I don't know why that happens to you. I'm still trying to. I'm kind of puzzled about that. It doesn't look like you have connection issues. I wonder if it's some kind of CPU issue. You may have to lower your graphics levels. Oh, you might not be liking your graphics card then. Your graphics might be killing you. Okay, so it's your graphics card that's killing you then. It might be.
My hatred is unending.
What's up?
Oh, hello!
Last.
Look here.
Oh.
A treasure goblin has appeared. Slay it quickly and claim its gold, hero.
I claim your wretched life.
Oh, well done. Enjoy your just reward, hero.
Hardly a challenge.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the battle begin.
I alone must act. Hardly a challenge. I grow impatient.
The ancient shrines awaken. Control them and let loose the Dragon Knight.
Feel the hatred.
What happened?